Hundreds of years ago, humanity's unchecked consumption of Earth's resources triggered global collapse, plunging societies into violent chaos. In response, a coalition of elite scientists engineered a dual solution, genetically modified orchids, to replace depleted energy sources and a radical societal overhaul called the transformation. At age 16, every individual undergoes surgery to become a pretty, genetically optimized for perfection and contentment, thereby erasing conflict. Those awaiting the procedure, labeled uglies, live sequestered in Uglyville's dormitories. Tally, an ugly 3 months shy of her 16th birthday, obsessively previews her future self through a mirror app. Her closest friend, Peris, shares her rebellious streak. Since childhood, they've sneaked to a forbidden bridge at night, using augmented glasses to spy on the pretty's glittering city parties. With matching scars on their hands, a symbol of their bond, they vow to preserve these marks even after becoming pretty. But when Peris undergoes his transformation first, Tally is left counting the days until her own surgery, clinging to their pact to reunite at the bridge 1 month later. At Peris's farewell ceremony, Governor Cable delivers a holographic sermon on the virtues of perfection. Tally overhears whispers of the Smoke, a rumored rebel enclave led by a figure named David, though most dismiss it as myth. That night, she watches fireworks alone, reminiscing about meeting Peris years ago. Their instant friendship forged over shared nicknames, Nose and Squint, and a clumsy accident that left them with matching scars. Weeks pass with no word from Peris. Defying curfew, Tally hacks her tracker-equipped window and ventures to the bridge, only to find it deserted. Desperate, she scales the structure's underbelly, infiltrating the city with a stolen holographic mask that cloaks her in a dazzling gown. Inside, she discovers a chilling truth. The transformed Peris, now flawless and emotionless, no longer recognizes her, his scar erased, their history forgotten. Security drones corner her, forcing a reckless escape involving a stolen bungee jacket and a harrowing plunge. Rescued by Shay, a daring classmate, Tally flees on a hoverboard through chaotic woodland maneuvers. The girls bond over stolen snacks and shared resentment at being left behind by peers who've already turned pretty. Shay introduces Tally to a forbidden survival guide, a relic hinting at the Smoke's existence, and teaches her hoverboard skills, though Tally's early attempts end in crashes. Tension simmers as Shay's apathy toward becoming pretty clashes with Tally's obsession, exacerbated when Shay leaks details of Tally's city escapade, drawing unwanted attention. Yet their friendship deepens. Tally hacks food supplies with her interface ring, while Shay shares covert hoverboard lessons. A rift forms, however, as Tally fixates on her mirror app's pretty designs, and Shay grows increasingly skeptical of the system that promises happiness through uniformity. When classmates return Shay's illicit book, marveling at its tales of wilderness survival, Tally borrows it, curious but conflicted. Could the Smoke truly offer freedom, or is it just another myth? As their shared 16th birthday looms, Tally's dreams of perfection collide with Shay's quiet defiance, setting the stage for a choice that could unravel everything they've been taught to desire. Tally eventually masters flying, and she and Shay begin riding their hoverboards over daring ramps just for fun. When Tally returns Shay's book, she comments on how beautiful the natural world looks in its pages. Shay agrees and suggests it might not be so bad to skip the operation, but Tally finds that idea ridiculous. Then, out of nowhere, Shay brings up something called the Smoke and takes Tally to the forest's edge. They leave their rings on tree branches and cross the river on their hoverboards, entering forbidden territory. They arrive at the ruins of an old city where Shay shows Tally remnants of the past, like roller coasters. Inside a crumbling building, Shay reveals the truth: the Smoke is real and David is coming to pick her up tonight. She refuses to undergo the surgery and invites Tally to leave with her, but Tally declines, saying she doesn't want freedom, she wants to be pretty. Disappointed but hopeful, Shay gives her directions to the Smoke in case she changes her mind and leaves, following David's signal fire. The next day, on her birthday, Tally heads to the clinic for her operation, but everyone is called except her. A guard escorts her onto an aircraft to meet Dr. Cable, who informs her that Shay is missing. Tally denies knowing anything, but Cable monitors her vitals and catches her lying. Cable claims David is dangerous and brainwashes people, insisting Shay is in trouble. Tally maintains her ignorance, so Cable sends her back to her dorm, surgery postponed. That night, Peris appears at her window. Tally tells him everything and he urges her to tell Cable the truth so they can finally be together again. The next day, Tally is summoned by Cable, who now says David is building a weapon to attack the city. She wants Tally to infiltrate the smoke and find it. In exchange, Tally will get her surgery. As proof of her mission, Cable gives her a necklace embedded with a hidden signal. Tally must activate it once she locates the weapon. Following Shay's directions, Tally rides her hoverboard along an abandoned roller coaster until she crashes into the forest. Caught by a force field, she finds a set of old train tracks and begins following them. Over several days, she survives in the wild using the book's tips and marvels at nature like never before, even climbing a mountain. When she reaches a deep chasm, she uses her hoverboard to make a daring jump. The board fails midair but reactivates just in time to carry her safely to the other side. According to Shay's instructions, she waits in a field of flowers. Meanwhile, Cable meets with Peris, revealing he visited Tally's dorm because she requested him. Peris admits that being back in the city helped clear his mind. Cable tells him he's been selected for a special new procedure, and he agrees to undergo surgery for physical enhancements. That night, Tally awakens to smoke. Her flower field is on fire. Panicking, she's suddenly rescued by a mysterious figure, David. He scans her for trackers, finds one in the hoverboard and removes it. However, his scanner doesn't detect anything in the necklace. Elsewhere, Cable's team receives an alert about the removed tracker and dispatches scouts. By morning, David brings Tally to a smoke outpost where she reunites with Shay. Shay is thrilled, but Croy remains suspicious. That night, Shay asks about the necklace and Tally lies, saying it was a gift from Peris. Tally is confused by Shay's happiness and tries to express concern about David. Shay misinterprets this as Tally trying to convince her to return to the city, and the two argue. Tally ultimately agrees to give the smoke a chance. The next day, David explains the truth behind the smoke's fires. They burn orchids on purpose because they're toxic and ruin ecosystems. Tally is shocked. She believed orchids were a clean energy solution, but David tells her that was government propaganda. The flowers are turning the planet into a wasteland. To prove it, he invites her on a mission. Croy objects, but Shay vouches for The group boards an old helicopter retrofitted with solar panels. From the sky, Tally sees the land once filled with orchids has become desert. Shay uses a flamethrower to burn patches of the invasive plants. Suddenly, Croy's tablet detects incoming scouts. David lowers the helicopter to hide in the smoke, but the turbulence knocks Shay from the aircraft. With scouts closing in, Tally ties a weighted bag to the rope and rappels down. The helicopter starts losing altitude, but she manages to find Shay amid the flames. When a scout approaches, Tally throws the burning bag at him. She and Shay grab the rope and are lifted back into the air just in time, narrowly escaping. After the group lands, Croy accuses Tally of leading the scouts to them, but Shay defends her. And David insists that anyone willing to risk their life for the smoke deserves a chance. That night, while the group camps, Tally can't sleep, haunted by memories of Cable teaching her how to deceive the rebels. She steps out for air and stumbles upon David bathing in the river, retreating quickly to hide her embarrassment. The next day, Tally is blindfolded and finally brought to the smoke, a self-sufficient community thriving in nature. Life there is tough compared to the city, but Tally notes that food tastes better when grown by hand. There's no money. Everything is shared or traded, and everyone lives there by choice. Old train tracks are being repurposed into tools, but no weapons since the smoke is pacifist. One afternoon, Tally finds a mysterious door but is caught by Croy before she can investigate. She gradually becomes part of the community, helping with tools, tasting spicy food, and joining in nightly dances. Eventually, David teaches her to use a crossbow. She struggles at first but manages to hit the target. On their way back, David reveals he was born in the wild and never saw the city, which surprises Tally, who barely remembers her own parents. He gifts her a pair of gloves, a meaningful gesture in the smoke since he made them himself. Soon after, a wounded smoke member returns from orchid burning and reports that the scouts are still out there, and stronger and faster than before. Shay notices Tally wearing the gloves and warns her that it means David has feelings for her, urging Tally to stop leading them both on and make a decision. Later, on a walk with David, Tally brings up rumors about a weapon that could destroy the city. David takes her to a secluded house, where his parents, Oz and Maddie, reveal the truth. Former cosmetic surgeons for the government, they discovered the pretty Operation Altered Brains, not just appearances, making people compliant and easy to control. Worse, the procedure has killed many, a fact the authorities kept hidden. When Cable found out they knew, she stole their research. The government gave some officials a cure so they could think clearly while others remained brainwashed. Oz and Maddie escaped to the wild to age naturally and have been working on recreating the cure ever since. They've managed a base serum but lack a key synthetic component. After learning the truth, Tally throws her necklace into the fire, choosing to stay with the smoke. She confesses her past to David, but he tells her it doesn't matter. She's changed. They kiss as the necklace sparks in the flames. The next morning, city aircraft attack the smoke. Chaos erupts as scouts storm the camp. Though traps delay them, the scouts are too strong and capture many, including Shay. Tally hides with David, stopping him from rushing out. Together, they sneak to where prisoners are being held. Tally is horrified to see Peris among the scouts. Cable arrives and demands David's location. When Oz and Maddie refuse to talk, she orders Peris to kill Oz. Tally and David rush in, but it's too late. Cable then reveals Tally was working for her all along, shocking the Smoke members. Amid the chaos, Maddie discreetly slips the serum into David's pocket. When Cable declares mandatory surgeries for all, Tally seizes the moment, darting to a supply shed to ignite a blaze. Armed with a crossbow, she flees through a window as a scout attempts to intercept her. The ensuing explosion hurls the scout backward, creating an opening for David to escape. Though a pursuer trails him, Tally swiftly halts the threat with a well-aimed arrow. The Furies prepare to give chase, but Cable orders a retreat. Scouts obliterate Maddie's research, torching the site as prisoners are herded onto an aircraft. Once the coast is clear, David scavenges supplies for a rescue, only to lash out at Tally when she approaches, his trust shattered. Tally persuades him that her knowledge of the city is indispensable, and the two reluctantly ally. In the city, Tally rallies students influenced by Shay's writings, using them to validate the existence of the smoke. Borrowing an interface ring, she orchestrates a distraction. Teens skywrite the smoke lives on hoverboards. David and Tally infiltrate a clinic via aircraft. Aided by bungee vests, a scuffle erupts when they encounter a guard. David subdues him, allowing Tally to swipe his ring and lock him out. Alarms blare as they free prisoners, but Shay is missing. Croy reveals she's already undergone the transformative surgery. Racing to the lab, the trio finds a now glamorous Shay, who coldly embraces her new identity. Cornered by Cable and Peris, the group is forced into surgery machines. Just as the procedure begins, the Smoke's helicopter ambushes the clinic, disrupting the system with flames. Escaping to the roof, Tally confronts Peris, invoking their shared past to dissuade him. A misjudged tackle by David sparks a brutal fight, ending when Tally sends Peris plummeting into a waterfall. The fugitives regroup in a derelict city, where Maddie retrieves the serum to finalize a cure. Untested and risky, Shay rejects it. So Tally volunteers as a test subject, surrendering to scouts to undergo surgery and later trial the antidote. In a poignant farewell, the group vanishes as Tally is captured. Weeks later, Tally embodies the flawless pretty persona in a luxurious suite. Her feigned contentment betrayed only by a hidden scar. A silent vow to dismantle the system from within. Stay tuned for more thrilling updates. Subscribe and enable notifications. Thank you for watching.